Protect your online privacy today at expressvpn.com/inside.
Oh, fuck, I'm eating my bagel.
God damn it, Connor.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to Inside Gaming Daily for Friday. Let's celebrate the weekend.
Who wants to do it?
Oh, sorry.
All right, now that the celebrations are out of the way, boys, let's talk about colonial history and how it manifests itself even today.
Gamer. Oh, good. A nice light story of cultural genocide to kick off the weekend, but wait, this story involves Sonic. So we're gonna be poking the beehive again. And it's actually Tails, so I don't know. I'm sure the horniest of the Sonic fandom go for Tails. Basically, it's about a hoodie that really pissed off some fans.
Yeah, it involved, maybe you've heard of him, Sonic Chew.
Oh, no.
Oh, Tails, what did you do? We talked about this. Yeah, people are calling for boycotts of Sega. They're so upset about it. Those always work. And for Western audiences, it might not make sense at first, but that's why we're here, to take your hand and guide you through gaming culture.
And Sega really can't afford a boycott.
Yeah, Tails' legs weren't colored in, and so there are massive riots in the streets.
Yep.
So yeah, this all started when Sonic fans in Korea noticed a Tails hoodie that Sega is currently selling online. One Korean artist known as Milky Uni described themselves as a Sonic fan artist, but said they were very upset by the hoodie, which shows Tails superimposed over what looks like the flag of Imperial Japan. Not great.
Okay. Uni compared the flag to that of Nazi Germany, saying, "This product reminds people of the painful history of Korea. I'm so angry about this."
Hashtag Crazy Sega was started, and others started joining the call for Sega to take down the hoodie. Take off your sweatshirt!
I think sometimes Nazi comparisons are a little overblown, but they were buds in this. In World War II, so
they were real close.
This is kind of an apt comparison.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, another Korean Twitter account, Team Tails, so you know which team they're on. They wrote,
Knuckles.
I advise you to stop selling the product immediately, drop the article and discard all products, and please provide an apology and further details. So Team Tails needs further information.
They added rising sun flag for Koreans is like a Nazi flag to Europeans, and even a Hiroshima atomic bomb to the Japanese. So we might, and you, I believe, the audience, might need a little history lesson here to show us why this is such a painful image to Koreans.
Some interesting territory today here on Inside Gaming Daily.
We're actually teaching them something.
And maybe learning ourselves. It goes back to the early 20th century when Imperial Japan took control of Korea for decades, ending only when it surrendered at the end of World War II.
Yeah, it's a very painful history, to say the least, that involved the Japanese basically trying to wipe out Korean culture, some very old school colonialism.
Right, sure, yeah.
Schools and universities banned people from speaking Korean. The Japanese tore down historic buildings. They even made Koreans worship the gods of Imperial Japan, you know, like you do.
Normal stuff.
That's the playbook.
Okay, just normal stuff.
They checked all the boxes.
Oh, wait. There is one more thing, though. They also forced hundreds of thousands of Korean women into sexual slavery and military brothels.
I mean, none of it's good, but that one's
real bad.
And that colonial history is still very much a sore spot for Koreans, even today, you know, for obvious reasons.
A few years ago, during the 2018 Olympic Winter Games, a commentator on NBC sparked an uproar in Korea after he described Japan as a country which occupied Korea from 1910 to 1945. But every Korean will tell you that Japan is a cultural, technological, and economic example that has been so important to their own transformation.
Oh, God. They occupied them, but they taught them a lot of stuff. I mean, I don't talk about that.
But they brought them civilization.
They brought them anime. And the Winter Games were in South Korea when he said that.
Yeah.
So it's not like...
Not a great look.
Yeah, so NBC, needless to say, apologized for that remark. So while the hoodie might not seem like that big of a deal here in the West, there might be dudes like me like, what's the big deal? I don't understand. You can see how it might be very offensive, to say the least, to Koreans.
Japan did some serious, they reworked that public image. Nobody talks about that. I should say no one in the West talks about that. This is not the first time that World War II era flags have been an issue in video games. Nazi symbols like the swastika have been a big no-no in Germany, where they were banned until just a few years ago.
I think they're still banned, but I sort of wrote that awkwardly. Yeah, you can't publicly display a swastika, but they were banned in video games until just a few
like the
years ago.
Wolfenstein games had different
quick edit.
Yeah.
So here's a weird segue, but we got to do it. Before we talk more about Hitler and swastikas, we want to talk to you about mental health. I don't know what else to say here. So just take it away, Adman.
Hey gang, we're all facing a lot of uncertainty right now, but if we face it together, we'll make it through. While we have to stay physically apart, it is more important than ever to stay close to one another by reaching out to our friends and our family. That's right, just because we're locked up inside doesn't mean we can't send texts, make calls, send DMs, tweet, poke, post, tag, slide into, whatever you need to do to reach out to your friends and family, because let me tell you, they want to hear from you just as much as you want to hear from them. So we want to remind you that if you need support, you can reach out to NAMI. It's the National Alliance on Mental Illness. It is the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization, so you can use them to get support for yourself and learn how to support others too. What more could you want in this world? So visit NAMI.org or call 1-800-950-NAMI 6264. You are not alone. I'm not, because I got this one over here. Yeah. Hey, reach out if you need support. Reach out to your friends, text, call, say hello. Bye. Yeah.
So yeah, as we were saying, yes, Nazi symbols have been banned in video games in Germany until just a few years ago. Previously, German editions of Wolfenstein games, for example, had to change Hitler's name, replace swastikas with different symbols. I think they took out his mustache at one point. That's because German law considers symbols like the swastika and the Nazi salute symbols of anti-constitutional organizations.
They had to give him a big bushy one instead.
Big walrus mustache.
Big walrus mustache. Finally, though, the ban was lifted for video games a couple years ago using an exception for artistic purposes. Wolfenstein Youngblood, which came out last year, became one of the first games in Germany where Nazi imagery wasn't scrubbed or altered. Just like that, it was maybe the least fun entry.
Yeah, that was the bad
Oh, yeah,
one, right?
Youngblood. Yeah, it was...
I don't know about bad, but it's not a Wolfenstein game, really.
But it's not just World War II symbols that have occasionally sparked controversy. Sometimes controversial imagery finds its way into games and just causes a big storm until it's removed.
Yeah, you might remember a few years ago, the Keck logo from 4chan weirdly seemed to pop up on a pair of gauntlets in Destiny 2. That logo and accompanying flag have been used at a number of white nationalist rallies, and people were like, why is this in Destiny? What the hell? Did an artist try to sneak this one by? I don't know.
Good lord.
We must defend the tower.
I mean, that was probably a thing before they co-opted it, so some artist being like, oh.
It's a pretty specific logo. I don't know.
I don't know what it is.
But when I saw the gauntlets, I was like, hello.
Bungie apologized and removed it. They tweeted, "It's come to our attention that a gauntlet in Destiny 2 shares elements with a hate symbol. It's not intentional. We're removing it. I'm sorry. I'm trying to remove it."
Yeah.
I'm doing my best.
Back to the Tales hoodie. Lots of people were calling for Sega to take it down, but we checked and it was still up as of this morning, but by the time you watch this, Sega may have taken it down. We'll see.
I'm gonna check it right now. Oh, it's gone! It's gone!
Oh,
They
really?
took it down.
All right.
Breaking news here on
Breaking
Inside Gaming. The
news.
Tails hoodie is gone.
Yep, hot off the press. 404 error.
Sega bows to PC police. This was a good tweet I found from Twitter user Carlos. I get that Sega loves nostalgia, but they don't have to take us back that far.
Others, though, have pointed out that a modified version of the Rising Sun flag is still used by the Japanese Navy, and some disagreed that it was meant to cause offense. It feels like cherry picking a little bit.
Everyone from your hometown doesn't see a problem with this.
Yeah.
Twitter user JRB wrote, "I doubt the makers of that shirt were thinking about war crimes when they were making it."
I mean, sure.
It's not about intent, it's about the final product.
Right, exactly,
Right.
yeah.
Ultimately, it seems like something that might have special resonance if you're a Korean citizen. So it might be just sort of up to them to make the call on this. But,
Yeah.
really, why go there in the first place? Is it that important to have a Tails hoodie with that specific imagery in the background? Obviously, Sega decided no because they just pulled it down.
Yeah, this does seem like a pretty avoidable goof on Sega's part. After all, they are a Japanese company, and surely they would have known the significance of using that imagery. Whoopsie!
Oh no! Wah, wah.
And Sega has a long history in South Korea. Most of its consoles were distributed there through a partnership with Samsung. It still has an office in Seoul, South Korea. Maybe they should have checked with those guys before putting out that hoodie.
Excuse me, Samsung. This is Sega. Is this racist sweatshirt cool with you? Before you answer, let me hang up.
So yeah, they took it down. Headlines, breaking news.
Yeah.
So obviously they didn't want to piss off a significant gaming market like South Korea. These controversies have a way of snowballing. So maybe everybody at Sega, since they're in Japan, they were just asleep when all this happened and they woke up. Some poor marketing person like, Let me have a nice cup of coffee and check my Sonic feed.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Inside Gaming Daily for Tuesday.
Yeah, it's another edition of Terrible Tuesday featuring adult internet crybabies and a freaky blue blur that enslaved a bunch of animators to make a kids movie that is just okay.
Meow. And then I'll show all my gross little hedgehog teeth. All right, guys, let's settle in and talk about Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Oh, what a long and winding